LeBron seeks a Hollywood ending to his career. He's going to play next season, his 24th in the NBA, if you can believe it, but it's not going to be for the Lakers. LeBron has instructed his agent, Rich Paul, to talk to everyone around the league who is interested and come back to him so he can make his decision. Yes, I know what you're thinking, another decision. Let's get the crew back in here. Shams, we're going to begin with you. Open your notebook for us. What is the up-to-the-minute latest on LeBron and his future?
After LeBron James' decision to leave the Lakers on Tuesday, he returned back to the golf course. And so clearly LeBron James is not in a rush right now to make a decision. He's evaluating everything, but his biggest priority in all this is finding a team where he feels like he's going to have a chance to play meaningful basketball, compete for a championship. My understanding is this will not be a financially driven money decision. And so his agent, Rich Paul, has been getting about a dozen pitches ever since free agency opened at 6 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. But when I talk to teams around the league, 3 stand out during this process. That's the Golden State Warriors, Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Miami Heat. So LeBron James will take probably the next few days to sift through all that, figure out exactly where he's at. There is no timetable. I will say, though, I've listened to Rich Paul on his own podcast on Game Over, and he's given hints along the way this year about how the Lakers situation was looking. I do have a hunch that we might get some more hints along the way here the next few days.
Very interesting analysis. Thank you very much, Monica. Jump in here as the East continues to take shape and improve. Do you think it actually behooves LeBron to stay west, which has that two-headed monster in Oklahoma City and San Antonio, if winning another championship is a priority?
I do not. I think he should come on over to the Eastern Conference if he wants to have an opportunity to make a final push. For the storybook sake of it all, and quite honestly for the basketball, I think Cleveland has a interesting opportunity for LeBron James, right? Like, those guys obviously have not been able to get over the hump, even though they got to the Eastern Conference Finals this past season. I think when I look at the 3 teams that Shams mentioned, that is a group that has sort of a younger core. Yes, James Harden has been in the league almost as long as LeBron, but when you look at Mitchell, Mobley, some of those guys, the issue to me when I think of some of the other teams that are named is, even though LeBron is still very effective, Father Time is real. And so when you talk about Golden State, like, sure, LeBron, Steph, and Draymond sound great, but are they all going to be available and still playing their best basketball by the time you need it in the postseason? Because the age thing is not changing.
Bobby, jump in here. I'm curious, after Jaylen Brown landed with Philadelphia yesterday, that obviously shakes up the landscape in the East. Has it changed your opinion on all and what could be the best fit for LeBron James?
It doesn't. I mean, I'm still in the faction, I guess, with Cleveland. And I'm looking at it from a lot of different things. Certainly, he's from there, he's played there, he's won there. And then I'm looking at the roster when you don't have to do anything. You can roll LeBron James in with Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and you still have your shooters with Max Strus and Sam Merrill. So I think that's probably the best fit, and I think you got to take everything else into consideration also.
Vince, jump on in. Anything change with the idea of what we just saw yesterday in Philadelphia and Boston?
The East, to me, top to bottom, is a much deeper and quality conference on a night-to-night basis than the Western Conference. The West has a top 2 that you cannot avoid in San Antonio and Oklahoma City. I think to some degree, saying LeBron has to go to a place where he has the chance of winning the championship is far and away like something, I won't say it's unrealistic, but I want to focus on where LeBron can play great stylistic basketball and be competitive, at least in the second round of the playoffs. That can be Golden State. That can be Miami. Where Miami, to me, stands out is he doesn't have to do the heavy lifting. That's for Giannis. That's for Bam. He's become a better spot-up shooter. He's become better to play off of other players, to Monica's point about Father Time being real. You don't want him to be overtaxed by the time the playoffs come around, so where he cannot take it to the extra gear. If he's in Golden State or some of these other places, I'll just say this about Cleveland. Cleveland has a coach that told us in the media, he looked in the camera, fixed his mouth, and told us during the Eastern Conference Finals, analytically, we're up 3-0 in this conference. Do you think that LeBron James wants to play in that situation?
Well, I mean, if he's a big
forgot about
analytics
that.
guy, maybe. Shams, get back in here. The Lakers, when we transition to that side of the equation, have been as active as anybody in the last 24 to 36 hours. How has Rob Pelinka remade this roster in the last 2 days?
Joe, in the span of 30 minutes, the Lakers landed 4 marquee free agent pickups. And I'm going to start with Walker Kessler. They found their signature center for Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. Luka wanted a lob threat, a shot blocking 5, a guy that can provide offensive rebounding. Well, this is the guy. But they paid a steep price for Walker Kessler. 2 unprotected first-round picks, 2 pick swap, but the Lakers weren't done. We see right there, Sandro Mamukelashvili, 4 years, $52 million. Quentin Grimes, 4 years, $60. Colin Sexton, 2 years, $19. So you have a blend here of backcourt help, scoring, youth, some athleticism, size. So clearly, when you lose LeBron James, you have $50 million in cap space. You decide to use up that money basically in high-end starters, role players, rotation players. And so now you have Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves at the head of the snake. Of course, Walker Kessler will be there in the middle, and then you surround them with shooting and scoring. That was the outlook for Rob Pelinka.
Bobby, Luka has 2 years left on his deal plus a player option. Are the Lakers officially on the clock to maximize that window?
Joe, I thought they were on the clock when Shams broke the news back in February that they were trading for him for Anthony Davis. I thought that's when they got on the clock, when they made that trade.
Gentlemen, ladies, tremendous stuff for the first hour. We appreciate it. Planter that still has us shook. The Celtics have agreed to send their 2024 Finals MVP to the 76ers, their longtime rival, in exchange for a package headlined by 36-year-old Paul George. Boston had tried and failed to send Brown to Milwaukee for Giannis Antetokounmpo, but was outbid by Miami. Vince, Bobby, Monica getting back into the mix here as you see the odds to win the Eastern Conference. Philadelphia slides up into the 3rd position. Interesting. Despite getting Jaylen Brown, the Celtics remain above the Sixers from a pricing perspective, and that's relatively significant, plus 425 against plus 750. Monica, jump on in here. Is this addition by subtraction for Boston? Is Brad Stevens going to prove to be a genius here?
I don't see that. We'll find out. I mean, obviously they're taking a big bet in terms of Jason Tatum getting back to his best form prior to the injury, which he seemed to be on track to do in his return earlier than anticipated this past season. But I just don't know, between availability of Paul George and his age, I just don't see where you made an improvement over having Jaylen Brown, who was in the prime of his career. Not to mention, as much as we talked about how surprised we were that the Celtics were able to muster up that high seed in the Eastern Conference, it was largely because of Brown at the centerpiece pulling a gamut of guys who had maxed out. And so if this is going to be a team that is to achieve what Vegas just suggested, it is going to be one hell of a coaching job or an outstanding season from Jason Tatum, or maybe you'll need both.
Bobby, what's the burden on Jason Tatum, who's now basically running the show by himself in Boston?
Well, of course, he's the face of the franchise here, and this is the player that did not play in Game 7 also, and is still coming back from that Achilles. And yes, we saw him at the end of the year, but now